Nocturne and Totem was a huge success. Treyarch geared up to release the sequel map named Verruckt. Verruckt is an old insane asylum with patients screaming and all. A very different scene when compared to Nocturne and Totem. Verruckt's color palette is a lot of orange and brown, while Noct was mostly blue and gray. Treyarch could have left the formula created for Nocturne and Totem unchanged, but they said no. Instead, they expanded zombies in the biggest way the series would ever see again. In Verruckt, Perca-Cola machines were introduced. This innovation brought elements from Call of Duty multiplayer by allowing the player to buy perks that would add a sense of progression, in turn providing yet another addictive sensation. Here are the perk machines that were introduced. Speed Cola. This perk was added as a variation of the multiplayer perk Sleight of Hand. Double Tap Root Beer allowed the player's weapon to shoot 2 bullets instead of the normal 1 bullet, basically doubling output damage that could be dealt. Quick Revive was a little less helpful than the other perks, solely because when playing Verruckt solo, Quick Revive had no effect, but when in co-op, it allowed you to revive teammates much quicker. Juggernog. This perk lets the player survive 4 hits instead of 2, on every map except Verruckt. On Verruckt exclusively, Juggernog makes the player's health regenerate in 0.5 seconds. This means the last zombie of a round literally cannot kill you. The introduction of perk machines should not be overlooked. Perk machines weren't even the most important innovation of Verruckt. The story of this map picks up with once again 4 Marines when they are sent to extract a man named Peter McCain from Verruckt, which we learn later. This is also the first zombies map to include voice lines from the Marines you play as. This is another huge addition that helps to create memorable characters for the next 2 maps of Nazi zombies. Mystery box locations are yet another giant addition to zombies, which happen in Verruckt. Additional mystery box locations are scattered around the map. There are arguments to whether this addition hinders or enhances gameplay. I'd say it enhances gameplay because easy zombies is boring zombies. While we're on the topic of the mystery box, all the weapons from Nocturne and Totem returned to Verruckt, including a few new ones, the Bouncing Betties, the PPSH-41, the STG-44, and the MP-40. The PPSH-41 is only available in the mystery box, while all the others can be found on the walls additionally. Traps were also introduced in Verruckt. This is a big inclusion because of the ability to reach rounds that were previously unattainable. The traps cost 1,000 points and shoot down electric bolts that kill any zombies or players that walk through it, no matter the round. Verruckt zombies were more aggressive, faster, and smarter. Verruckt introduced sprinting zombies that could run faster than the player, making Verruckt one of the hardest maps of all time. Now we're on the last edition of Verruckt, and arguably the biggest one. I got one phrase for you. Gotta turn on the power. I don't think there's any other sentence that is more unanimously tied to Call of Duty Zombies. Another genius technique to make the player have a goal and feel progression within the map. Treyarch tied the new perks to the power mechanic. In order to use the perks, the player has to reach the power at the opposite end of the map. Now I'd like to talk about the difficulty of the map. Verruckt is notoriously known for being cramped and extremely hard due to the speed of the zombies, but I'd like to explain why this is Verruckt's biggest draw. If Verruckt wasn't as hard as it is, the map would have many times less replayability. Playing Verruckt feels like an experience that makes you feel accomplished. Once you learn the perfect training technique and perfect time to kill your train, and you make it above round 20, you feel like you got better as a player. Verruckt is the map I feel like going back and playing the most out of the 4 World at War maps. I think it has to do with the difficulty. Verruckt rarely feels unfair as well. Your deaths happen usually because you chose to shoot at the wrong time or you chose the wrong room to train in. In summary, Verruckt was as close to perfect as a sequel to the first map it could be. Almost all of the mainstay features of zombies were born in Verruckt, and I don't think Verruckt gets enough credit for being so vital to the growth of zombies as a game mode. Perks, character voices, box locations, traps, and power help to make Verruckt a great map to not only challenge the player, but to make it an extremely rewarding and fun experience. Once all the screaming from patients ends, the chirp of crickets and the hiss of snakes could be heard from a swamp lurking in a faraway country, ready to introduce one of the most iconic weapons in all of zombies.